Time job, starting with that. It's about performance each week. Didn't feel like the performance last week warranted another start. And, when Davis was a starter, sometimes you need the relief pitcher to come in. And that's what it was. Sometimes you bring the relief pitcher in and he's doing well, you stay that course. But if it's not the case, so Davis will start for us this week. And we expect the 2 weeks of watching from the sideline to help. And there are so many other things that we can do to help the quarterback position. It's a lot more than just it. Injury-wise, probably saw a couple of the guys that didn't practice. I think Nico didn't do an awful lot. He's limited. Had a couple of guys that started to practice with us. Graylin Arnold and, of course, Jonathan Grenard. So it's always good to get them back. We have some other guys, bumps and bruises. Wednesday we have some of the guys, some of the veterans on a snap count, where we've normally held them out of most of the work. Just the Cowboys, one of the best teams in our league right now, playing at a high level. Whenever you put over 50 points on the scoreboard, that has to really get your attention. But I think they're good in all three phases. Special team, have an excellent punt returner. We know a lot about the punter. And defensively, just a lot of good athletes. Play hard, productive, rush the passer well, take the ball away as well as anyone. And there's a commitment to the running game on the offensive side. Take your question.
With Mills, you mentioned you hope the last 2
I'm sorry, Mills.
Yeah. Sorry. With Mills the last 2 weeks, you mentioned helping he's seen on the side. What have you seen from him the last couple of weeks that he may have worked on better to show this week?
Well, as far as things you work on, to me, when you're in that role, you're going to do a lot of observing. It's what you're going to do as much as anything. It's going through all of the drills like all of our quarterbacks do. But it's just looking at it from a different perspective, situation from the sideline. Normally observing can help instead of you being the guy that's always kind of under the gun a little bit. I know how he handled it. He was a pro about it. He switched roles with Kyle and did whatever he could to help as a backup quarterback. And I know he's excited about another opportunity.
When you have a quarterback that you bench and then you bring him back, do you worry about confidence and having something like that happen to him?
No, Chrissy, not really. We were real about why we made the move and the reasons why. And, go back to that statement, we don't give out permanent jobs. It's about, how you play each week. And we put a lot into how the last performance that we see your last performance. And, again, Davis moved into a different role. He continued to be our captain and do all the things that he was doing before. But I think the second time around, you kind of appreciate the position you're in a little bit better. I know that's the case.
I know you were focused solely on defense last year, but do you think there's similarities Davis can take from last year? He was the starter for some time.
I think that's a good point. Yes, when you've had an opportunity to play, sit back, and then come back, and we're hoping that's the case. When he came back the next time, last year, the second time, he played a lot better. And normally if you're a competitor, when you're not playing your best ball, I keep going back to the baseball comparison a little bit. Sometimes you don't have it, and you need to just, take a step back. And I know most of the time when guys come back, we're going to get their best. And that's what we need right now. And again, it's just not about the quarterback position, but there's some things. Just starting off with ball security. We're losing too many games just based on giving them the ball, and it starts with that position.
The challenge you're facing in terms of getting these guys blocked, obviously, Laremy Tunsil and Tex Howard done a good job, but it's not just Micah Parsons, it's a lot of these guys.
Oh, it is.
About Micah, what do you think of all of them?
Well, it seemed like each week we've talked about, a dominant defensive line that we're playing, and that's definitely the case. They're active, and it does start outside with Parsons. I think he's, as good as there is in the league. wherever they put him. I think his best position, of course, is kind of where they've been playing him the most lately, and that's on the edge or wherever across the line. So that's what we have to deal with. Yeah, it's about the quarterback position, getting our running game going, but it always starts up front, and we need to do a better job.
With Davis Mills coming back in, will you guys continue to look at this as a week-by-week basis?
With all of our players, we look at it on a week-by-week basis. We evaluate, and if we think a move is warranted, we go with that. Our players know that, and it's just not lip service. That's exactly how we do it.
I know these teams don't really have a lot of history because they haven't played a lot against each other, but like growing up in Texas, how do you feel about like kind of the Cowboys and like this being kind of a rivalry considering it's two in-state teams?
Well, that's a good point, Christy, because for me, I just, coming here lately, but I just assume, what I've known, and I have a few more years on me than you, that a team in Dallas and a team in Houston, professional football team, has been around for a long period of time and have been and have played good football. And the games that they've always had. I know we had a team that left, but there's a Houston franchise now, and I don't know exactly how they look at it, but I know it's special for us, and especially where we are right now in our season. Yeah, it's great, to play a team in your state, but for us, I say the Cowboys are going to be one of the teams that have a chance to win it all. So for us I think we're getting better in a lot of things, but here's another opportunity for us to take another step, big step.
Jonathan Grenard coming back to practice, defensive line lately, you've talked about how they've improved. Where do you think he factors in? How soon do you think he could contribute?
Well, we'll always find a spot for a good defensive lineman. And it's not like, all right, when you're the starter per se, you're going to, our number 8 lineman has gotten probably over 30 plays every game. So we'll find a way to get him into the mix once he's ready to go. And we're not necessarily saying that he has started the process. The day was the first day he's actually practiced with us, and it wasn't a whole lot of hitting and things like that. A little lighter practice today.
A few more. Seeing these injuries have been probably a little bit worse than maybe initially anticipated. Is there any thought to putting him on IR or anything like that?
Well, I wouldn't say that it's a more significant injury than was anticipated early. Whenever there's a hamstring, if a guy legitimately pulls a hamstring, it's going to take a while. Really pull it. Whenever you pull a hamstring, I know from experience, it takes a while. And especially for a young player that pulled it for the first time in his life. So you just have to be patient with him. We have to be. Eventually he'll be back out there. Again, a few weeks ago, he was up in the press box. We didn't have him on the sideline. Didn't know if he could get out of the way. This week he's down on the sideline. He's making progress, I will say that.
That was the Falcons training camp, right, for you? Is it from your experience? I don't know.
It's pretty impressive. YouTube you can find out a lot of things right now. You go online, right? To go back further, I pulled my muscle for the first time as a junior, Tuesday before the state track meet. If you want me to be in detail on exactly when it happened, a year later, the same Tuesday before the state track meet, I pulled it again. So hamstrings, everybody, hey, just play through it. Just think about a torn muscle. It's hard to really kind of work through those. And especially at some position. An offensive lineman can handle an injured hamstring a lot better than a guy that has to be able to be all out, full speed, every snap he's on the football field.
Good.
Thank you.